What's up? What's up, y'all? We back with another season preview. This time we are doing the South East Division. So that's gonna be the Heat, the Hawks, the Magic, Hornets, and Wizards. A few rebuilding teams in here, a few playing teams in here. But before we even get started, make sure you guys like the video and comment, and then subscribe to all of our social media on the top of the screen. It does not take a long time. But anyways, let's get right into it. So the Heat was one of the most talked about teams this offseason. Everyone expected them to get Damian Lillard. After he came out and said that this is the only destination he wanted to go to, it was only a matter of time. I mean, I think even when we was doing we was ranking teams in the offseason, and we ranked Miami like S tier team because we thought they was getting Damian Lillard. I honestly thought it was no way he would go to any other team, but Pat Riley and Joe Cronin couldn't come to a decision, and Joe Cronin went to another place with the Bucks. But we're going to talk about their additions, major storylines, breakout player, and their over under win total. We're gonna do this for every team like we always do. Let me get into their additions. They gained Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant, Jaime Harkless. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. They lost Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, and Victor Oladipo. That's one of their major additions and losses. So obviously, the narrative around this team is when they lost Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, and then didn't get Damian Lillard. That's been the most talked about thing, that they're going to just hurt from losing those two players. I want to know your perspective on that. Like, how big do you think the losses of Max Strus and Gabe Vincent are for you?
To be honest, I don't really think it's that big. Like, Gabe Vincent, he played well in the playoffs. Max Strus, he's the same inconsistent. He's on or off. And Victor Oladipo, he was barely playing. So it's like Josh Richardson, he fits a mold. He's gonna play defense. He's not a great shooter, but I mean, he can provide something on offense. Maybe they don't really need him for that much. That's really what they were trying to get Dame for, like a boost on offense. But they're gonna play the same way. They're still gonna go be scrappy defensively. It helps out Bam because he has another wing defender out there. Jaime Jaquez, you're gonna see what you got. I guess he's like ready made to come in and contribute right now. Thomas Bryant, he's not like a great big or anything, but they did need some type of size. He's not a great defender. He's not no real floor spacer, but he provides you something. He could play 20 minutes a night. It might not be a good 20 minutes, but it's okay. Their losses doesn't really matter, and they still have Tyler Hero. We was assuming that Tyler Hero wasn't going to be there. Tyler Hero in the regular season is still basically 20 points per game. He's going to shoot. He works well with Bam, so their team didn't really lose much and they didn't gain much. They just right where they're at. That's depending on how you feel about that, whether they're good or bad.
I think, I agree with you. I feel like they're going to be in the same position, not like standing-wise. When we talk about where they're going to finish off in the standings, I think last year was really an outlier on two fronts because, one, they haven't been like the AFC 8-7 seed in a while. Like, honestly, like in 2022, they were the first seed. In 2021, I believe they were at the 6th seed. I believe in 2020, they were like the 5th seed. So, like, they've been at a consistent playoff team. They haven't been in playing. This is their first time been in the play in like 3 years. So last year was an outlier because, one, they went to the finals after being an AC, and also they were AC in the regular season, which we're not going to see that again. So I think the narrative has came along that Jimmy Butler like BS his way through the regular season, which that may be true. That hasn't affected the team where their seeding is lower. So I feel like we talk about their seeding, but they're definitely going to be a playoff team this year, I believe. I don't think they're going to be in the play-in. Now, I don't know if I've heard this a lot, but I think Josh Richardson is an upgrade over Max Strus and possibly over Gabe Vincent. Like, he's a better defender, and people who have this like thought process that Max Strus is a good shooter. I mean, he is a good shooter, but like Josh Richardson shot there, it's inconsistent, very streaky. Josh Richardson shot 38% from three last season, so he can defend. He can knock down a three. So I don't think the Max Strus and Gabe Vincent losses are going to be that crazy. When you think about it from a ball handler's perspective, Gabe Vincent was like one of their tertiary ball handlers they could have when Kyle Lowry was out and stuff like that. But like you said, they still got Tyler Hero. They still got Kyle Lowry coming off the bench, or he may be starting this year. Who knows? And then I like the pick up of Thomas Bryant. We saw what he could do on the Lakers last year when AD was out. He played pretty well for the Lakers, and he's gonna have someone to get backup big minutes to Bam, which they had. I forgot the name. Cody Zeller doing that last year.
Yeah, Cody Zeller, and they had Orlando Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they still got Orlando Robinson, but he's like, he's not like anybody, to be like, oh, they got Orlando. So I mean, they they pretty much stayed pat. But the thing is, like, they still have, like, if push come to shove, trade deadline come around, and it's not looking too well, they still have a button to push. They can still go. They still got the same assets they had. They can still use that to go get a trade. It may not have been enough to get Dame, but it's enough to get somebody else. Like maybe they push the chips and they probably go get Donovan Mitchell. Like I had said, when we had the what was that, the Central?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. Donovan Mitchell's probably like like a tier below Dame. You could probably see if you could push that button, get him, and possibly still do a freaking deal to get Tyler Hero out of there. Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. That's a pretty good trio if you ask me. Guards like just a play like a scoring guard. That's what they really was going out there for. ISO scoring guard.
Zach LaVine might work because the Bulls may be trading or selling at the deadline.
Exactly.
So
You're
they
talking
have a
about
couple options.
a 20-point per game, a 25-point per game scoring guard that you could probably just run an offense to for a couple of quarters, maybe a game, somebody to go to late game that could get a bucket by themselves. They got the asset to go get that.
Also, that I want to speak on Jaime Jaquez for a second. He's looked pretty good in preseason and in summer league so far. I think he's gonna be able to come in and contribute right away. They still have Cody Martin, which I don't know. His play last season, I think might be the outlier. I don't know if he's ever played that well in the postseason, but he got his mojo. They got what is his name, Hayward Highsmith, who came in and played well in the playoffs, and he's gonna have a bigger role this season. As a 3-and-D type of player, his jump shot look better in the preseason a little bit from what I've seen so far. So not too many major storylines for this team. Not too many like crazy additions and losses. The big thing was they didn't get Dame. That's what they were. Some people feel like their contingent hopes were contingent on them getting Dame. But when you think about it, they're probably still in that tier. Like as far as they're probably in the tier with the Cleveland, it's in the tier with the Knicks, and they're in the tier with the Sixers at this point. I think the two quick favorites right now are still Milwaukee and the Celtics. But yeah, the Celtics. So, but if they face the Celtics again, I think the Celtics are much improved. But I think it'll still be like a 6-game series, so they still can compete in the East. I don't think they'll be making the finals trip again. I don't think they're going to be making the ECF again. But you never know with Miami. They surprise us literally every year. So
exactly, this is basically still the same team that went to the finals that last season. Like this is essentially the same team, whether for good or for bad. It's this, you go into a playoff series with Jimmy Butler and Bam. From what we see in the past 4 years, you pretty much got a chance to win any series with those two. Clearly, maybe it's a little different now because those top two, like they pretty much got the clear gap ahead. But like if you go into a series against the 76ers, Miami should feel comfortable. If they go into a series against the Knicks, they should feel comfortable. If they go into a series against Cleveland, they should feel somewhat comfortable. So everybody outside that top two, I think they feel like they got a shot. We've seen this team basically do the same thing last year, not the year before that, but 2 years prior. So it's whatever.
All right.
Cool.
Give me one breakout player from the Miami Heat that you feel like is going to contribute this year.
Like you said with Caleb Martin, that was probably just an outlier in the playoffs. But a person that could come in and basically take his minutes and probably be that guy he's ready to play right now is Jaime Jaquez. He should be able to come in and get solid minutes at that, whatever, maybe 2, maybe 3 sometimes. Probably shoot the ball, get to the bucket, do some things. Hopefully, he could be a good positional defender with this Miami Heat scheme, and he should probably probably be starting by the time playoffs come around. So that's gonna be my breakout player for them. I wanted to say Jokic, but
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean he hasn't looked he hasn't looked crazy in the preseason so far. But I'm gonna say Hayward Highsmith is my breakout player for them. I think he's gonna be able to come in and be one of their best perimeter defenders. They're gonna really, really need that this season. And if he can continue to knock down a three, he's been knocking down a three so far in preseason. He can continue to do that. Then he's gonna be amazing for them. I think Q is experiencing some technical difficulties. Yo, Q. We're gonna just wait for him. My bad, y'all. We're gonna wait for him to come on. We back. We had some technical difficulties, but we back. So it shouldn't be nothing crazy on the actual recording. But we're gonna move into talking about the Hawks. That's the next team in the division. The Hawks additions and losses, not nothing crazy. They got Kobe Buffkin in the draft, who I really like out of Michigan. I think he'll be able to be a plus defender, a good shooter. He can handle the ball sometimes, be like a tertiary ball handler off the bench for them. Patty Mills, they got from Brooklyn. And they also got Wesley Matthews and Bruno Fernando. So nothing crazy as far as additions. This is pretty much the same similar team. The big loss for them this offseason was John Collins. Obviously got off his money. They didn't feel like he fit pretty well. And he really lost his role as like the third star. They really were using Clint Capella as that road man and putting John Collins in the corner. So not really conducive to his game. But I think this team is going to benefit because year two, a full season of Quinn Snyder is going to be the biggest headline for this team this season. We've seen so far in preseason that Trae Young has been coming off ball. And that's what everybody wanted him to do for so many years. And I think this team can be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to play. I think it's going to be a top 6 seeded team. And you have DeJounte Murray and you have Trae Young and DeJounte Murray being the primary ball handler with Trae Young running around and getting open, coming off pin downs, coming off screens, attacking the basket, drawing fouls, like he's so great at doing. It unlocks offense to another level. You got some breakout candidates here with AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, who look good so far this preseason. You got Onyeka Okongwu as well. So this team is filled with youth. They have a lot of upside. I think the young core is quietly swept on. I think the move should be starting Big O. I don't think they start clicking Pella, but I think it's going to be hard to move off of him because they've been having him so long, and he has a rapport with Trae Young. But this team is young, and I think they're ready to not compete, but be a playoff team, not to play in again. Give me your thoughts on their additions and losses for the Hawks.
I think with just drafting Kobe and picking up Wesley Matthews, just those two in themselves, you get another guard that can, a scoring guard who can go out there, score, work in the pick and roll, do whatever you want to do. He can shoot. And then Wesley Matthews, he's not like what he used to be, but he can still defend. And, this Hawks team still needs defenders out there on the wing, especially if you're going to run out liners with Trae Young here and there. I think, like, to fully maximize this team, they have a bunch of youth. You got to probably have to trade Clint. Since they're guard heavy, I think you can move off of Bogdan Bogdanovic. You probably could still run out with DeAndre Hunter, but you could probably move off of him too. It's going to be kind of hard to move his contract.
They got too. They got a decent amount of wing depth.
You feel me? So they could withstand it. And with the DeJounte Murray, like, it's like a little bit of a bad discourse around it because, like, again, he end up getting paid, but it's like he still has a skill set. He could defend. He can still score the ball. He's not a great shooter. He can still work in the pick and roll. He can rebound. He got size. He got length. Good playmaker. And I think he probably works better on the ball, especially if you got like shooters like Trae out there, especially if he's coming around off screens and pin downs. Still got Kobe. You got AJ Griffin. Got Jalen Johnson who can play in that dunker spot, who really comes in, becomes like the new John Collins, but better. I think with Quinn Snyder there, I think they could make a jump. You're right. They probably could lock up that 60 because the Trae Young discourse has been bad. Like, he still is one of the better point guards in the league. And I think that's enough, like, just having him there on the court. I think that's enough to win you at least 40 games. And then the rest is just, matchups here and there. But trade deadline, you're probably going to see them move off of Clint, maybe even earlier than that. They could probably move over Bogdanovic. They could probably move off DeAndre Hunter, go cheaper, and then see what they got.
And you got to think about it. Like, this team was like number 7 last year as an offense, top 10 offense with only a half year of Quinn Snyder in it. I think you have Trae Young coming off ball, and you have Big O making strides as a mid-range jump shooter. AJ Griffin making strides as a catch and shoot player and a 3D player. The biggest thing for this team is going to be defense. They had to take a step. I think, let me look at where they were defensively. Bottom 10. I think I'm looking at like 24. They were like 24 worst defense in the NBA last year. So I don't know. Quinn Snyder is not going to help that. But I think someone like Adrian Griffin Jr. can help that. He's a great defender. So I'm looking for. We talk about breakout players for him. You got Jalen Johnson, who's been showing some playmaking chops in the preseason, his athleticism. You got Adrian Griffin Jr., who can break out as a 3-and-D player. He got some self-creation chops as well. I don't know how much that's going to break out, but they have like a lot of young talent and a lot of players that can break out, like Big O can break out. So they got three candidates. I think they should just go with the youth. I think these players can contribute now. So I'm not mad at they're moving off Bojan. I said Bojan, one of them. And then I'm not mad at they move Sadiq Bey, who they got last year from the Pistons.
I forgot they had Sadiq.
Yeah. So this team's depth is pretty nice. They just have to get out of that realm of mediocrity because the first 40 games they were like 20-20. I think they might finish the season even 500. So they got to just get out of that realm of mediocrity, and that's got to start on the defensive end. Give me a breakout player for the Hawks.
I think it should be Onyeka Okongwu because, like, if they trade Clint Capella, and they should, he's going to be starting at center. He's going to be in especially with this team, a lot of guards. There's going to be a lot of pick actions. He's going to be in pick and roll situations, lob threats. He should be getting 6-7 touches at the rim, and he's going to be pulling down at least 7-8 boards a game. That's enough for him to give you a nice solid stat line, something around maybe not 15. That's probably low, but like 13 and like 8. That's enough. More like 15. I wouldn't be mad if I see him get 15 to 10, especially in his offense. He's gonna have a lot of chances, a lot of things at the rim. Maybe on the fast break, he's quick enough to get down there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Big O.
I'm gonna go with AJ Griffin. I've been high on him ever since he came out of college. I'm a big Paolo fan, so I watched him a lot at Duke when I watched the Duke games. So I think he has a defense upside. Is going to click this year. His 3-point shot making ability is going to click this year. I'm not really expecting him to take a jump from a self-creation standpoint, but I think he's going to be really integral. I think he should get to start over Sadiq Bey in this offense and as far as the defense. I think he's going to be better than him by his second year. I was really high on him. I think he should have never slipped to the Hawks. I don't know how he did, but it's time for him to break out. Obviously, Big O can break out as well if they trade Capella. And I think Jalen Johnson, who I also like coming out of Duke, has a chance to break out as well. So they have, like I said, 3 breakout candidates. They got to just give them an opportunity, let them grow, try to be patient is the biggest thing for this team this year. But be competitive. And it's time for Trae to dispel the rumors, be the narrative that he can't play off ball, he can't play with a star. He going to have to show some effort on defense. I don't know where that is going to come from. Like the defensive part of this team, Quinn Snyder is not known for that. But maybe DeJounte Murray can, motivate them because he's a big leader. He's a big talking type guy. So hopefully they can be like at least like top 15 defense. If they didn't do that, that would be crazy. Maybe Big O, just changes it, but I don't know. All right, next team is the Magic. I'm gonna have a lot to say about this team. Paolo's my guy. I'm really high on his potential. I think he'd be a top 10 player in the NBA one day. Just because he is a 6'10", 250-pound person that can operate in the mid-range, he can be a roll man, he can initiate a pick and roll, he can defend the post. He's obviously pretty athletic. I think the next step in his progression is just being a better jump shooter, continue to be a playmaker. But the Magic additions were Anthony Black, who I'm super high on coming out of the draft. Everybody know that he's the quickest processor in his draft class in the pick and roll and in transition. They acquired Jet Howard. Now I think they should have went Grady Dick, but I understand Jet Howard is going to give you the same shooting ability, if not better, because he's better as a movement shooter. So he kind of fits what they like to do. And they got Joe Ingles out as well. And I think the only big losses they had was Ball, which is not much of a loss at all, honestly. So this team is just they cut like Admiral Schofield, like people that just didn't have a big role in the team.
Yeah.
Last season. Now the Magic are an interesting team. Last year they really competed in a lot of games. They didn't win a lot of games, but they competed in a lot of games. The best part about the team is their defense. With Paolo and Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter, you already have Jalen Suggs. You got 4 positive defenders in your lineup already. So that's what led them to being a pretty good defensive team last season. The biggest thing for me this year is going to be the half court offense. When you don't have a lot of spacing around Paolo, Franz Wagner is a good shooter, I would say. Wendell Carter is taking strides as a 3-point shooter, but he's still pretty average. Then you had Jalen Suggs, who's not a good shooter. Marco Foster is not a good shooter, and then Paolo himself has not been a good shooter. So I think this half-court offense is going to be where they struggle at. But because they're such a great defensive team, I think they'll be able to get out in transition, create opportunities like that. I think that's going to be their philosophy this year: ripping and running, playing defense, and getting out in transition. That's how they're going to stay competitive again this year. I think this year can be the actual year where they take a jump. We see a jump from Paolo, we see a jump from Franz, and they make the play in. So give me your initial thoughts on the Magic and their additions and losses as well.
They brought in shooting. When you got Paolo out there, Wendell, who's still not he's not, he's respectable enough, but he's still making strides. Franz is really the only real shooter in the starting lineup. You brought in shooting. I'm not saying Jay Howard's going to start, but you at least got 3 shooters on the roster. Anthony Black, big guard, can defend, can set up in the pick and roll. Still has to, get better at, attacking and shooting the ball. Not efficiency-wise, but just like in the mindset of scoring, so he's not like easy to defend. But I think drafting him, it allows you to move off Jalen Suggs, who hasn't really shown you much. Like, for a fact he defend, but Anthony Black can defend, and he's bigger. Give you a chance to maybe move off of Cole Anthony. Markel Fultz, last year he played well enough to you don't have to move him, but they pretty much got their core set. They get a vet in Joe Ingles. He's been around. He's been in the playoffs. But this team is relying on Paolo to make a jump, Franz to make another jump. If you got that wing forward that combo, if they're like 20 points per game apiece, and plus, and you get good defense. Wendell Carter's gonna help. He plays defense, and then the offense, they could definitely make a push in the play-in, sound like a 10-9 seed, and see if they can make some noise in a 1-game standoff and try to, push the envelope on this.
I definitely have them as like a 10 seed, 9 seed. It's gonna be a lot of competition in the back end with the Pacers, with the Raptors, with the Bulls, and then the Magic. I think that's the tier, really. The Hornets as well. I think we're gonna talk about coming up, but they're in that spot. I think a few of these teams are in that spot right now. Major storylines is really just the play-in push, Paolo year 2, and a Franz Wagner leap, who some people are expecting that. I think with him, with Franz, we see him. He can be a plus defender. He's a plus wing defender, I think, in the league right now. He can put the ball on the floor. I think he just does everything pretty well. So honestly, last year Franz was the best player, and everybody was intrigued with what Paolo was doing because he was a rookie and he carried a lot of the load as far as initiating the offense. They really ran the offense last year through Paolo, but I think with everything efficiency wise and all of that, Franz was their best player. I think it's crazy because Paolo had literally his offensive load was more than Franz, but that's because he had the ball in his hand more. But I think they're gonna move away from that a little bit. But I think for this team to see in the future, it has to be Paolo taking that step. He has to become more efficient. It was like that 1 month span where he was 3 for 30 or something like that from 3. It was crazy.
So he was bad. I think people blame that on the wall, rookie rule. They don't play 80 games in college. You feel me? So people blamed it on that, and he just probably got tired, especially that early, because early on he started off he hit the ground running. So he was just going out there every night just trying to play his best. So it was because the month before that he was playing amazing. He was basically giving you 20 to 23, 25 a night, and he probably just got tired. This is year 2 coming in. Now he knows what to expect. So that means his offseason work just got that much better to prepare for such, that stretch in February, January, February. It was you're through the lulls of the season and you just try and get to All-Star break and whatnot. But this year, like you said, Franz, he's good at everything. He could do it all. Now you just want to see him put it all together and get that jump. He's the second best player on a playoff team. Really should, put a stamp out there. He is extension eligible, at the end of the season. So he's gonna definitely have to put in that. He's gonna, put something on tape. Paolo, he was very efficient at the rim. if he can put the jump shooting together, the 3-point together, he doesn't have to be like a 39, 40% 3-point shooter, but something around 30. If he could be 35, 36, 37, especially in the corners, then that just helped that offense that much more. Especially if you could allow Markelle Fultz and or Anthony Black, do their thing and try and get to the rim. As long as that offense, they just need spacing. That's all they need, spacing. And as long as they make a jump and they out there, they can do what they do. It's still gonna be tough because they're still lacking a lot of talent.
I think one thing we got to talk about though is one of these guards have to go. They just drafted Anthony Black, who I think is the future. I think he's a future starting point guard of this team. It's gonna have to either be Cole Anthony, who I think is the odd man out, honestly, or Jalen Suggs.
It could be both.
It could be both, yeah, like you said.
Because, like I said, Markelle Fultz last year proved that he's, still serviceable. He played well last year, well enough. So out of the three, he was already first in the camp. Cole Anthony, he's only going to be as good. Like, he's already probably what he is. And Jalen Suggs, he's just not it offensively. Defensively, he's good, but Anthony Black could be just as good and or better because, like I said, he's bigger, longer. Like, he just could just do more on the defense. He's already a better playmaker than him. He's probably like, I wouldn't say he's the best playmaker they got out of the guards, but the gap between him and Markelle Fultz, I don't think is that big. And scoring,
I would say when he obviously becomes who he is, he's gonna be a better playmaker than Markelle Fultz.
I mean, just right now, like obviously you get the edge to Fultz, but sixth pick, you're projecting him to be one of the better playmakers in the league, damn near. And once he gets comfortable trying to attack the basket and or shoot, he's just he's gonna already etch his mark on the team. So Cole Anthony and or Jalen Suggs got to go, and you still got Jet Howard out there. He's still gonna need minutes eventually. And Joe Ingles, he's just that much. He's a bigger wing defender / shooter, so he's always gonna have minutes. There's not gonna be a lot of minutes for those two on this team, really.
Yeah. So they do have like an influx of guard play when you actually sit down and think about it, because Markelle Fultz, who I think is gonna be the starter, we've seen him. His mid-range game looks like it's coming along. He's not really like a plus defender, but he can defend, and he can play make as well. I think he averaged like about seven assists last year when Markelle came around. Closer, like when he came back, he had a good impact on the team. They started winning more games when he came. So I think I'm fine with him in the grand scheme of things. Talk to some Magic fans about this, of him being like a 6-man type player. I want Anthony Black to be the lead guard in this team. And I think that their two should be Jet Howard. Not this season, but like going in the future. Like we're just looking. Yes, they need more spacing. I think Anthony Black has that potential to be a serviceable catch and shoot player. Jet Howard's obviously, we know we're gonna bring him. So you have Jet Howard, you have Franz, who's going to continue to be a better shooter, and then you have Wendell Carter, who looks like he can space the floor a little bit around Paolo. Then that's gonna be better in the long run. I think Markelle Fultz's role in this entire NBA league, whether this is for the Magic or for another team, is going to be a 6-man type of player, because I think he can be able to come off the bench and provide some scoring and some playmaking to balance out your second unit. So I think that'd be his role on any given team.
What I don't want to happen to this team, or like the people talking about this team, is like they look at the Orlando Magic and see a young team and like say they go out and win, make a playoff push or a play-in push or whatever or not. It's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be like say a star gets disgruntled. They're gonna be like, why don't the Orlando Magic throw such and such first round picks and yada yada to go get who? You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to be that team to just like try to microwave it. They're probably like Thunder East, like just you got a bunch of young talent, just develop it first, because you're basically a generational star-ish in Paolo. You got Franz, who looks like he could be a 3 or a 2, not really a 2, but definitely a 3. And you got Anthony Black, you just drafted him. We want to see what he looks like, leading the team, especially like working with Paolo and Franz. You just want to like let that simmer for like a year or two, see what that looks like, and then make that decision down the road, especially when it's time to start paying people. I just don't want them to like push all their chips in the middle of the table too early when they're just clearly not there yet.
I agree with that. I think this has been a great start to a rebuild. Honestly, they've done it the right way. So why even go away from that? You traded away your starting Vucevic and you completely fleeced the Bulls. And now you have Paolo, Franz, you have Wendell, you have Anthony Black, Jet. So a lot of young talent. This is the year that we find out about Markel, this is the year we found out about Cole. This is the year we found out about Suggs. Suggs, I feel like definitely, and Suggs and Cole, I feel like their time is running out for it to be on the team because Suggs is almost. I'm trying to be nice, but he's bad offensively. He's not good at this point in his career. He's not a good shooter. He's very inefficient. Not a good playmaker. There's really nothing. I guess he can attack the basket, but not even like nothing crazy with that. So it's like he doesn't really do anything well in the offense as of right now. And you're gonna need better offensive players around Paolo to help them out. But you got a breakout player for this team?
The breakout, I think it's gonna be Paolo. Like it should be. This is year 2. You should see a sizable leap. I think what you were saying, like you wanted to see him like do like 24, 25, something like
that was Cade. That was Cade. I said that was Cade. I haven't talked about Paolo. What I want to see from him as far as points. What did he average last year?
I said something like I want to see him at like 25 points per game. I don't expect him to be a 10 rebound a game guy. He's probably gonna cap at like 7, 8 rebounds a game, something like 5 assists. Should be like the efficiency that just has to take a leap. I want to see at least 37% from 3. Probably something he's gonna be high volume. He's probably gonna be at like 48 from the field. But if you get there around 50, it'll be that thing. It should, especially with the spacing that he should have this year, it should be better.
I would like to see like 24, 7, and 5. That'd be a pretty good sophomore campaign for him. And then like if he does like 24, 7, and 5 in his sophomore campaign, we'd be like, yeah, he's him. Like we know now. Yeah. Like this, we know that Paolo is him if he does that. Like 24, 7, and 5. That's
like
4-point jump
from the field. He'll probably cap at. He'll probably be like if he gets to like 46. If he gets to like 46, 47, I'll take that. Like I'll take 46, 47 because he's still gonna be like, even though he's not the greatest shooter, he's still gonna try to take shots, and that's what's gonna like bring his efficiency down because he is good at the rim.
No, he's amazing at the rim. I think he's gonna be one of the most dominant rim threats in the NBA. Now, what I want to see from him as far as the development thing, I don't think the 3-point like shooting percentage is gonna come this year. I'm not gonna expect that from him. But I want to see the in-between game come on. We can get that mid-range game because, people compare him to, like, athletic Carmelo Anthony coming out. Yeah, so if he can get that type of, skill in his game, like I said, I always say that separates players. Most of the top people in the top 10 players, which I think he can be, that's a ceiling. You have to be able to get that, what I'm trying to say, in between game. Last season he shot mid-range game. Yeah, last season he shot 37% from the mid range on 3 attempts. So 3 attempts is like a healthy amount, honestly. But
that it gotta be like
is not.
Yeah, it gotta be around like to be really like functional in there. You gotta be around like upwards of 44%. Like those are the people that's like almost deadly in the mid range because not everybody's like a Kevin Durant, D Book shooting like 50% from mid range, but like 40%, like upwards of 42, 43%, that's good enough that you're like you literally just can't leave him open. Like every other shot is going down. And like 3-point percentage, you're right. He's not gonna be a 37% 3-point shooter this year. Like he was barely a 30, like he was at what, like 20, 29, 28. So he probably only gonna be like his jump probably be like 33%. And that'd just be just enough for like people to start respecting him a little bit.
Yeah, he's 37%. I think league average is about like 42. So I want to see him like be a little bit over that, especially in year 2. If he can, add it to his game, it's going to make it a lot easier for him to get that 4-point jump. My breakout player for this team, I'm gonna go Markel Fultz. I think if this going to be a year, it's going to be this year. I think he's going to continue to develop that mid-range game, be a playmaker. I want to see him take a stride as a defensive player, but it looks like he completely has like this is going to be the year he's got back to form. Got back to not form, but like some small semblance of what they thought he could be coming out of out of Washington. I think he just needs to stay healthy. That's the biggest priority. You got to stay on the floor to be an impact on the team. So long term, I think he'll be a 6-man, but for this team to be in the play-in, he has to take a jump and be a 17-point per game type of guy, 17 and like 7 on good efficiency, be that type of leader for this team. We haven't even been doing over on the win totals. That's kind of crazy. I forgot about that. But we can try to do it.
It's just division, man.
Yeah, the Heat was 44.5. To go back on that, you going
They
over
probably
on the Heat?
I get them over on that.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go over on that. I think they return back to form this year. Then um, the Hawks are 42.5.
I'd go over on that because they're gonna need like 45 wins at least to probably get to 60.
I'm gonna go over like about 45 wins as well. And then the Magic, the over in the win total is 37.5. So people
I think
expect a
they
jump.
probably just get over it. So I'm gonna go over.
Let me go look at the Magic record last year because people have compared this team to OKC, and OKC took like a 16 game win jump last year. I think. Let me see, 2022. What was their record last
22 and
year?
60.
So a 16 game jump
Oh no,
puts
that's
them
not
at
even that.
38 wins. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong season. Sure, man.
34 and 48.
Okay. So yeah, 4 more wins is not crazy. Because the Wizards won 35 games last season, and they obviously don't have Bradley Beal, so they won't be there. I think the Bulls they potentially be better than the Bulls, honestly. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go over on this. I think he went about 39 games, closer to 40, maybe go like 41 and 41. I can see that from this team. I'm taking that type of jump into the play-in, being like a 9 seed. This team, a 10-9 seed. Next team we have up is the Hornets. Man, big LaMelo fan. Like I said, I like the same type of players. I've been accused of liking the same type of players as LeBron, but hey, what can I say? This is my archetype of players, big guards. So LaMelo's one of my favorite players. I don't like the roster. I don't like the leadership. I don't like the everything going around this organization. This organization is a nutcase. They are a label. They are a I don't know what even. I don't know
They're
how.
getting carried. They're getting carried by Michael Jordan. That they was getting carried by just Michael Jordan, just being an owner. That's all it was. Michael Jordan being an owner. This team
This is
doesn't.
probably arguably, yeah. This is probably like the most
They
dysfunctional.
don't know talent. Like, let
Yeah,
me not say they don't know talent because they picked LaMelo, but they don't know how to build a team, and they don't know what players are like, or players that you need to win. Like, Gordon Hayward isn't Gordon Hayward anymore. Of what you think Gordon Hayward is. Tay Rozier is not who you think he is. I like Miles Bridges, as a player, not as a person, obviously. Uh Kelly Oubre, he's not there no more. He was basically damn near their best player last year. Dennis Smith's not there no more. And Kai Jones, they had Kai Jones on the roster. Look how that turned out. They're like, healthy LaMelo is a playing team. We've seen that. It's just
and
when
the
they
East,
get in
I
the
would
play-in,
say
they be getting smashed.
the East is harder this year. I feel like the East is definitely harder this
Yeah,
year. It's
and that's the thing. But I don't even know if Miles Bridges is even playing because he just got arrested again. But like, thinking that he would play, I would think him, Brandon Miller, and like Miles Bridges. I would think like that right there should be enough for them to like compete. Along with Mark Williams, they have to get off of Terry Rozier and they have to get off Gordon Hayward. See what you
Gordon
get
Hayward
for him.
contract expiring.
Yeah, exactly. Just get whatever you could get something for him. Like, because she's not in your plans. Terry Rozier shouldn't be in your plans. Like, I don't think you need those two to play to think you're going to try and win a chip no time soon. And by the time you're even ready to win a chip, they're not going to be who they are now. And they already not, hot commodities. I just don't think this team has a direction right now, to be honest. They're contingent on LaMelo Ball staying healthy and Brandon Miller being worthy of being a top 2 pick. I don't think he's going to be that this year. He's probably going to be, you'll be happy if he averages like 15. But I think they need talent. They just need more talent, more youth, more talent, actual talent. Not like we're gonna take a chance. I don't know why they picked up Amari Bailey and Nick Smith Jr. I just thought that was a waste of
That
assets.
was crazy. That was crazy. I like Amari Bailey though. He's from Chicago, and I think he played well in the summer league. I like Amari Bailey. I think he could be like a backup point guard for the team. I like Amari Bailey a lot. But yeah, like I was saying at first, like this is probably the most dysfunctional franchise in the NBA right now. They've been terrible for a long, long time. They mismanaged Kemba. They're mismanaging LaMelo. Like, I want to see LaMelo out of Charlotte so bad. I think they're not gonna be able to maximize him. I don't feel like they are. I don't like the GM. I don't like the coach. I just don't like anything about the team. Miles Bridges is obviously a 20-point per game scorer and was a French All-Star when he played 2 seasons ago. But we all know what he is off the court. That's a problem. The vets here suck. Like Terry Rozier, he was responding to fans and DMs. Like the vets here just are trash. Gordon Hayward is just I don't know what he be on. And then we got Brandon Miller coming in. Obviously, he has potential to be a good player. When we talked about him in the draft cycle, I feel like he was a all-star type of level, like all-star level player. Like that was his potential in the NBA, and I feel like he was for sure fire. Like he's going to be that. Like I feel like that's what he was. I just think Scoot's potential was higher than that. But he comes with his own, stuff off the court already in college. So it's like this whole situation. I don't think it's conducive to having LaMelo, who was even himself getting street races, and it seems like no one here is focused on basketball. I don't know what's going on in Charlotte. I need them to lock in
this is one of those teams that like when they do like the league expansion or whenever they do it, like this is gonna be on the list of like we definitely probably moving this franchise. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like they probably blow this whole thing up, especially like it. There's no I don't know what they're doing. Like I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're fighting for. I don't know what they're drafting for. I don't know what they're playing for, and that's what has me confused with this team.
Yes, they need a leader. Like if they would got like someone like Emi Duck would have been bad in the situation. I don't even know. Like they just need some type of leader, some type of like a new ownership, a new GM, something to get us on track. Honestly, biggest things for this team though this year though is LaMelo staying healthy. You've seen him deal with ankle injuries over the last 2 seasons. He has to stay healthy. I want to see him be able to finish with contact more. That's one part of his game that he does not have. He also does not have an in-between game. Well, kind of a little bit. He's working on that. But as in transition, he's amazing. As a playmaker, he's amazing. As a shooter, he's amazing. I want to see him finish better, get in between his mid-range game a little bit better. Teardrops like that, he's already good at. And then obviously Brandon Miller, rookie year. You want to see from him. He might not even start. He has not started one preseason game, I don't think. If we're having Gordon Hayward start over him, they just need Brandon Miller this year to be.
And that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, regardless if like Brandon, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, regardless if Brandon Miller is not ready to play with NBA talent, which I mean, it doesn't really matter. You picked him 2 overall, just throw him out there. Gordon Hayward should not be part of your future plans. So you don't need to see what Gordon Hayward is. You know what he is already. Same thing with Terry Rozier. You do not need to see what he is. You know what he is. He's best being a 6-man anyway, coming off and because he just wants to really just come out and get buckets. Let him do that as a 6-man. He doesn't really have to really run the offense. He just has to, give you microwave points. So they should have just been starting Miller. Give him some feel so when he goes into the season, he goes into the season hot, playing with who he's going to be supposed to be playing with anyway. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think probably this, starting lineup here should be LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and Mark Williams. Is a pretty competent starting lineup for see what you got in these players, and also possibly competing for a play-in spot. You can have Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier off the bench. That's not the worst 7-man lineup I've ever heard in my life, but it's something. They obviously lost Dennis Smith Jr., who was one of the best defenders in the NBA quietly last year. Kelly Oubre had a great season last year with him. So those are 2 big losses that they I don't think they really addressed. Nick Smith Jr., I have no confidence. I was a Nick Smith Jr. guy. We know this. I have no confidence of him being successful in the situation. This is not a situation where he's going to improve as a defender. I don't think his efficiency is going to get better. He's not going to improve as a playmaker. So I don't know what his role is going to be on this team. Maybe like a Bones Highland, Lou Williams, 6-man, microwave type of core type guy. But yeah, like I said, it's not a great outlook for this team. In my personal opinion, I just don't like the roster. I don't like the headspace they're in. I don't know. I followed a Hornets dude today who I low-key wanted to ask see if he can get on the show today. Maybe we'll have him later. But I just want to know, like, because he said, yeah, this team can be a 7th, 8th seed. It's not like he said only teams that were like far and away better are the Cavs, the Sixers, the Celtics and Bucks. Those only 4 teams he feel like were far and away better. I'm like the Knicks, the Heat, the like I don't know, bro. So this, I just want to know from what standpoint do they feel like the Hornets are going to look this year. I think he was saying like, oh, every year we're a top 5 seed before LaMelo gets injured. We're competitive every year before LaMelo gets injured. Like I understand that, but that's a small sample size. When the season mellows out, you're not going to be a 7th or 8th seed. You're going to be probably fighting for a 9th or 10th seed in the play-in, and that's necessarily for this team as a 9th or 10th seed. I don't see them being a 7th or 8th seed or a 6th seed or anything like that. And I believe in LaMelo. I just don't believe in his roster.
Yeah, I say the same
But
sentiment.
yeah, we got a breakout player for this team.
If LaMelo stays healthy, he's gonna take another jump because he's just gonna put on a lot of. Even if it's just seen as stat padding, he's gonna put up a lot of numbers with this team. Like you might see like 10 assists, 11 assists just because he's gonna go out there and just do whatever. Like you might see a 20, 28 and 10 type season. Like if he's healthy, I expect him to be like that. Just to just go out there and do whatever. Like or maybe audition for a way out of there.
Yeah, I hate the narrative around LaMelo that he is not a winning player when he has drugged this team to the play-in twice already. He is a great floor raiser. This roster is not good, and their leadership is not good. Like, how do you want him to be a winning player in a situation like this? You got Miles Bridges beating his wife. You got Terry Rozier being Terry Rozier. You got Brandon Miller coming in. He has his stuff off the court. It's like I don't
It's
know
not
what you
funny,
want him
bro.
to
It's
do.
not
This
funny.
like Michael Jordan was one of the worst owners in NBA history. What do you want LaMelo to do? I don't know what else. Like this is like this kind of situation like how it was with Devin Booker, how it was with like Bradley Beal. Like you're saying these people weren't winning players. Like if the organization is not setting you up with good vets, a great roster, it's like
What
what do you
else are
want?
you
What
gonna
do you
do?
want him to do?
Exactly.
PJ Washington getting scammed by Brittany Ritter. Like it's so much. Every single offseason is something with this team. It's like it's just so many distractions. How do you want LaMelo to focus on being the best player he can be? I don't get it.
Because
That's my take on it.
and it'd be around the same narrative. Like it'd be like, oh, all they do is score. Because scoring is the only way that keeps them in games. They'd be like, but let them go off the ball and let somebody else. Who else is good enough that you trust with the ball in your hands, almost as much as LaMelo and or Bradley Beal and or whoever you name it, and thinking that them not scoring points is going to be the reason why they're not in games. Like with people, like I'm a Bradley Beal fan. People thought like I'm like really going to bat for him. I'm like, oh, he's the best player on the team, and he's already he is what he is. You already know what he is. There's nobody else on the team that you could just give the ball to and have him come off ball, and the team is going to function right without him being on ball and going out there and attacking in the ISO every single time. That's what happens when you don't have the talent. Your best player is going to have to really do everything, and if they do everything, they're going to get worn out. They're going to get tired. They're going to get hurt, and that's all that happens in these type of situations. You're borderline wasting an asset right now.
All right, let's. Oh, okay. The over under is 30.4. No, it can't be 30.5. There's no. They get him a 30.5 win total.
Yeah.
They're really low on the Hornets. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I'm not gonna. I think this team gonna be very bad. I think they are. I think it'll be a lottery team this year. I don't believe in the
I
Hornets.
think they are going to be a lottery team, and I think they should be a lottery team. So I'm definitely going under. Like I wouldn't be surprised they only won 25 games.
Yeah. All right. Last team in this division is the Wizards. Obviously, the biggest storyline here is going to be the loss of Bradley Beal. They finally, hit reset and went into the rebuild. The additions this year: Jordan Poole, Bilal, Tyus Jones, Patrick Baldwin, Danilo Gallinari, and then, biggest loss is just Bradley Beal. I actually like that they went to rebuild, and I like the pick of Bilal because you have to swing for upside, and it's upside. He's gonna be I think Bilal is gonna be one of the best defenders in the NBA. Well, perimeter defenders in the NBA. He has all the tools. I watched all his tape from France. His screen navigation is amazing. He's able to recover it on a lot of things because his long wingspan. He has potential to be a decent spot up shooter, and he shows some signs of being a on-ball playmaker in pick and roll situations. Now, I don't think his pull-up and range jump shot will ever come around. Well, that's something
It
he has to work
can.
on. Or
Yeah, it can.
yeah,
It's
I don't
just
want to say ever.
it's a
That's kind of
long way.
crazy.
It's a long.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a while. It's just gonna take a while. But he can. He does operate well in pick actions. Like he can operate a pick and roll well. It's just a matter of what he's gonna do with the after the pick and roll. Because passing out of it, he's good at that. But him just being an attacker and a scorer out of that, that's what you're going to see him. You know, casually take strides in. But he should come in and be a plus defender right away. That's good enough. He's athletic enough. He should be able to score on fast break opportunities, play a dunker spot, cut a roll. That's just how he's going to get his offense. But you don't really, I don't think you need him for offense on this team because you
I was just
pretty
gonna
much.
say that. I was gonna just echo the entire thing. I think he's gonna be able to score. Cutting back door, being in a dunker spot, slashing and stuff like that. I think he's a great athlete. He's gonna be a slash right away. But I would say like since this team has really like outside of Jordan Poole and Kuzma, those are gonna be the two scorers on the team. He should be able to I don't know because with this team roster he should be able to try to like they should be able to see what he is, try to develop his game a little bit. So he should have the opportunity to do that. Um, but yeah, outside of that, this team's gonna be terrible. We all know this. It's gonna be one of the worst teams in the NBA, and I think that's fine for them. They got a lot of holes, but I don't even know if Jordan Poole is gonna be like a part of that future. Honestly, like
He
I guess
might
for the
not.
time being, he will be.
Yeah, he might not, but he will. Like he's definitely going to be there for this year. He's most likely going to be there for next year.
Yeah,
He his player archetype, like at his peak right now, currently, he can be a 25-point per game scorer. It doesn't really, especially in this offense, like he's gonna get a lot of opportunity between him and Kuzma. They should both be putting up 20 plus a night. Tyus Jones is there. He's a good table setter. He's like, the off-brand Fred VanVleet kind of like he's gonna set the table. He can shoot. Bilal, he's there for defense. Gallinari, you're not really. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of him because they still got Corey Kispert and Denny Avia, who also could defend. So I think like based on wing defense and like Daniel Gafford, they should be solid enough defensively. It's just how they're gonna score and the efficiency of which they score, like their scores. Because Kuzma's not the most efficient player. Jordan Poole obviously isn't the most efficient player. I think they're gonna shoot themselves into games and they're gonna shoot themselves out of games. But Poole could. I'm jumping to break up here, but Poole could break out basically again, not efficiency wise, but he could put up more volume of like points. Like he can go and put up 25 points per game in his offense just by shot chucking. He's not going to be like 35% from the field, but he could be something like 43, 44, probably 40% from three. He's going to be one of the best free throw shooters in the league, like he always is at 90%. He won't make an all-star team because he's going to have to be picked as a reserve, and coaches taking win into account. They're going to be a bad team. So unless he goes out there and scores 30 like Bradley Beal does, he's never going to see an all-star game in. But his breakout could just be him scoring 25 points per game. But this team, they should just be looking towards the next two drafts. Like they already punched their ticket on that. That's what they should be focused on.
honestly, they should be looking forward to Cooper Flag. Honestly, that's who they should be
That's what I said.
trying to
Next
bring
two
to
drafts, they
DC.
have a chance to go get two studs. Like they could get two studs in the next two drafts if they manage to get two number one picks back to back.
I honestly probably think hopefully they'll get the number one pick because I think I'd rather them see them with like Montes instead of like Ron Holland because they already got like he's gonna be on the wing. They already got Bilal like a wing prospect, so I feel like they should go get yeah, I don't know
They need
because they like
anything they need is front court. They need
yeah,
anything front
I
court.
think like you draft Montes who is 6'9", 6'10", he could replace Kuzma, and then you draft he got real defensive chops, and I think you should probably draft like Montes and Cooper Flag. I'm just looking forward to the future for them potentially, and then start with that. But it's not really much to talk about this. Just develop the young core. I'm gonna go with obviously Poole is the breakout player for this team. There's not really anybody else contention. Over on the win total is 25, 24. I think they go under that. This team is gonna be very bad. They might be like at 17, 18 wins. Honestly, I can see that possibly being happening. I don't think Jordan Poole's play is gonna lead to wins.
No, yeah, they should not want to win more than 24 games. They need as more chips in that lottery as possible. They should go out there and lose as much games as possible. Try to get some talent. They're just in a talent development stage. They already reset their window. Now they got a 3-year window to collect talent and see what they got. like I said, Kuzma probably not going to be there 2 years from now. Poole probably going to be there 2 years from now. Tyus Jones could find himself on another team by trade deadline anyway because he's valuable to other teams.
All right, man. That was our Southeast Division season preview. It was just me and Q today, but this is our fifth season preview. We got one more to do, and then we're gonna hit you guys with conference standings predictions, reward predictions, and all that stuff. So the NBA season is 5 days away at the time we're recording this, and this will probably be up today. But NBA season about to kick off. We excited. I'm excited to get into hot takes, all that type of stuff. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be talking NFL too as well. So I'm excited for the future for us and for basketball right now. But that was our Southeast preview. Make sure you guys follow our social medias, like and comment on the video, and we are out.